Hi, I'm Kent Driscoll, B'n'M ProStaff member. Today I'd like to talk to you about shallow water springtime crappie fishing with my B'n'M brush cutter and a heavy-duty slip float rig. This technique works great in the springtime when the crappie are in shallow water and they're typically spawning in some real heavy cover. What I've done today is I've put together a slip float rig and I've matched it up with my camouflage brush cutter. This slip float is virtually weedless, and if you'll take a look at it, I want to show you how I tie this rig. First of all, I start with my bobber stopper, which I've just slipped on the line here. Secondly, I follow with a small bead, a 2-inch slip float, followed by 2 1/8-ounce worm weights. And you can see I've got these worm weights turned upside down, so you got the point up and the point down. Next, I've got 3 red beads, and then I've got a #1 Aberdeen hook. And the reason I have these beads and the weights on here is #1, when you slip it down in the brush, the little worm weights will actually help you poke the bait down through the limbs. In addition, I have the 3 red beads that sit right on top of the hook. Your worm weights will slide up and down your line, they hit the beads, and it gives it a clicking noise, which attracts fish. Okay, let's talk about the B'n'M brush cutter pole. The brush cutter was designed for heavy-duty, shallow water fishing. The pole is a perfect blend of strength and sensitivity. The camo pattern on the pole really explains itself as what? A brush cutter, because it's made to haul big slabs out of that brush. In addition, this pole has the Dynaflow guides on it. That helps the line slip through the guides and makes it a little bit easier when you're fishing in this heavy cover to let your cork go up and down and working it through the bushes and the heavy cover. Hey folks, check out the action on this brush cutter. As you can see, I'm giving this baby a heavy bend. What does that simulate? Airmailing a slab crappie out of the heavy cover. Isn't that cool? Let me show you exactly how I rig my bait. I've got some good old #6 shiners today. And I'm gonna take the shiner and I'm gonna hold him in my hands here. I'm gonna take that hook and just barely run it through that minnow. I just barely caught this minnow in the lips here. I came up from the bottom through the top. And the reason I barely want to catch him is I want as much movement and vibration out of this minnow to attract these slab crappie. Now, let's take a look at the slip float and how it works. Now, I want you to picture me pulling up to a brush pile. You got about 2 foot of water and you're fishing about 18 inches deep. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sling the bait out right to the brush and we're gonna drop it in there. When it hits the water, that cork is gonna run up the line and hit that bobber stopper. Your 2 little minnow weights are gonna run right down on top of your 3 beads and it's gonna sit right in that heavy brush. Now, the cool thing about this rig is it's almost weedless. If you happen to get hung up, all you do is pick your line up, drop it, and what'll happen is these 2 little worm weights go down, they hit the beads, they make a clicking noise, and it'll knock your hook loose, which is really, really cool. It helps you keep from getting hung up. It also makes a little bit of noise, gives a little bit more vibration, and it attracts these big slab crappies.